Hello everyone. In last two videos we discussed how to find the confounded effects if principal block is given or any other block is given, and how to find the principal block if a confounded effects are given. In this video we will be discussing how to ensure the desired type of confounding, and this method was given by Das. Now again, what is the meaning of ensuring desired type of confounding? So we know that when the design gets larger and larger, it becomes very difficult for us to ensure that a particular effect or interaction doesn't get confounded with the block effect. For example, suppose I don't want two-factor interactions to be confounded with the block effect, or three-factor interactions to be confounded with the block effect, or any particular interaction I don't want it to be confounded. Then how do we ensure this? So again, to achieve this, a very efficient method was provided by Das, which we are going to discuss in this video. So again, as I said, it becomes very difficult for us to ensure the desired type of confounding when there are a large number of factors, and we will have to perform a large number of trial and error method so that no effect of interest gets confounded with the block effect. To overcome this problem, Das suggests a method. So suppose if it is a 3 raised to k design which is being confounded in 3 raised to p blocks, then we start with constructing the matrix I and P, where I is of order k minus P, I being identity matrix. So notice that in this case you are neither given a block from the confounded design nor the confounded effect from the design so that you can find the other. So you have to construct the design such that you get a set of confounded interactions which are of interest and also the principal block at the same time. So when we construct the matrix I and A, where I is identity matrix of order k minus p, but how do we feed the columns of the matrix A? The elements which are going to be 0, 1 or 2 of the columns of A are fed as per the requirements of the confounding, or say restrictions of the confounding. So if one wants no main effect to be confounded, then no column in A should be a null or zero column. If any column in A is a null column or zero column, then the factor that represents that column will be confounded with the block effect. So suppose it is factor D, under which all the elements are 0, then factor D will be confounded with the block effect. If it is required that no two-factor interaction should be confounded, then any column in A should not be scalar multiple of any other column in the whole matrix IA. The moment one column can be expressed as a scalar multiple of other column, then the factor representing these two columns compose an interaction together, and that interaction will be confounded with the block effect. For example, suppose if the column under the factor B is 1 0 and the column under the factor E is 2 0. So we can see that column E is actually scalar multiple of B. So the interaction BE will be confounded with the block effect. Now if no three-factor interactions are to be confounded with the block effect, then no column in A should be linear combination of any two columns of the matrix I and A. The moment any column becomes linear combination of any two other column in this matrix I and A, then factor representing these three columns together will form a three-factor interaction, and that three-factor interaction will be confounded with the block effect. So similarly, suppose if four-factor interactions are to be saved from confounding, then no column in A should be linear combination of any three other columns in the matrix I and A. So this concept we can extend to save an interaction of any order. The matrix A prime and minus I, this time I is of order P, gives us the P effects which are confounded with the block effect. And the matrix I of order K minus P, this gives us the K minus P treatment combinations of the principal block. These K minus P treatment combinations are independent, and linear combinations of these treatment combinations will produce the remaining treatment combinations of the principal block, and this way we will generate the entire principal block. So let us see one example here. We are going to construct a 3 raised to 4 design in 9 blocks, that is 3 square blocks, such that no main effect and 2 factor interactions are confounded with the block effect. We want to make sure that neither main effect nor 2 factor interactions are confounded with the block effect. So as k equal to 4 and p equal to 2, because there are 3 square blocks, so p is equal to 2, we have to construct the matrix IA, where I is of order k minus p being 4 minus 2 equal to 2. So we first write the identity matrix 1 0 and 0 1, and since we want no main effect to be confounded, so no column in this matrix should be a null column. So you can see no column is null column, and we also want to make sure that no two factor interaction should be confounded. So no column should be scalar multiple of any other column. So actually what we have taken in this case is there is no restriction on 3 factor interaction. So we have expressed C and D as linear combination of A and B. So actually some component of interaction ABC and ABD are actually confounded with the block effect. If you see, C is actually A plus B and D is actually A plus 2B. So this way we are making sure that neither main effect nor two factor interactions are confounded, but some component of 3 factor interactions are confounded with the block effect. And what are those confounded effects? That we can find using the matrix A prime minus I. Now let us find A prime minus I. We already have A matrix, so we find A prime, which is 1 1 1 2, and minus I will be a diagonal matrix with all the diagonal element being 2. So these are the two interaction components which are confounded with the block effect. So it is actually ABC square and AB square D square. And the principal block can be found by writing the linear combination of the rows of the matrix I and A. A matrix we found in the beginning of the example. So if I write the two rows of this matrix IA as R1 and R2, the linear combination of R1 R2 will give us the remaining treatment combination. How to find the remaining treatment combination we have discussed before. I will again quickly summarize this. If you have R1 and R2, you can write 2R1, 2R2, R1 plus R2, R1 plus 2R2, 2R1 plus R2, 2R1 plus 2R2, and then 0R1 plus 0R2 will give you the remaining treatment combinations of the principal block. So before ending this video here, I would like to quickly summarize the theory. So we actually start with constructing the matrix I and A, I of order k minus p. If one wants no main effect to be confounded, then no column in the matrix A should be 0 or null column. So actually there should be no null column in the entire matrix I and A, but we know it is an identity matrix and there is no null column in I. So all we have to do is make sure that there is no null column in A. Then if one wants no two factor interaction to be confounded, then no column in A should be scalar multiple of any other column in the matrix IA. If 3 factor interactions are to be saved, then no column in A should be linear combination of any 2 columns in the matrix I and A. If 4 factor interactions are to be saved, then no column in A should be linear combination of any 3 columns in the matrix I and A. This way we can ensure that an interaction of a specified order doesn't get confounded with the block effect.